Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that the power to transform your mind and consequently your life lies within you. It has always been there, waiting to be awakened and harnessed. Let us begin by understanding what it means to be mentally strong. It is not merely the absence of weakness or the ability to endure hardship. No, mental strength is far more profound. It is the capacity to shape your reality through the power of your imagination and belief. It is the unwavering faith in the law that states, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is it. You see, my dear friends, the world you experience is nothing more than an outward projection of your inner state. Your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions create the fabric of your reality. Therefore, to become mentally strong is to gain mastery over your inner world, to cultivate a mind that is aligned with your deepest desires and highest aspirations. Now you might be wondering, how do I achieve this mental strength? The answer, I assure you, is simpler than you might think. Yet it requires dedication and practice. The first step is to recognize the immense power of your imagination. Your imagination is not some frivolous faculty meant for idle daydreaming. It is the very workshop where you forge your destiny. Neville Goddard once said, man's imagination is God's redemptive power in man. This statement encapsulates a profound truth that your imagination is the key to transforming your life. When you learn to use your imagination deliberately and consistently, you tap into a power that can move mountains, part seas, and reshape your entire existence. But how does one use imagination effectively? The secret lies in what I call living in the end. This means that you must imagine and feel the reality of your desire as if it were already accomplished. You must step into the state of the wish fulfilled, embodying the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs of the person who has already achieved what you desire. Let me give you an example. Suppose you wish to become more confident and assertive. Instead of focusing on your current state of timidity or self-doubt, you would imagine yourself as the confident and assertive person you wish to be. You would feel the satisfaction, the peace, and the certainty that comes with being that person. You would walk, talk, and carry yourself as if you were already the embodiment of confidence and assertiveness. This practice of living in the end is not mere positive thinking or affirmation. It is a profound psychological and spiritual exercise that aligns your entire being with your desired state. As you persist in this practice, you will find that your outer world begins to conform to your inner vision. This is the law of assumption at work. What you assume to be true becomes true in your experience. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, how can I imagine something that seems so far from my current reality? This is where mental strength truly comes into play. It requires discipline and persistence to hold on to your vision in the face of contrary evidence. It demands that you trust in the unseen reality of your imagination more than the apparent facts of your physical senses. Remember, my friends, that what you see in the world around you is nothing more than the outpicturing of past thoughts and beliefs. It is the harvest of seeds planted in the past. But at this very moment, you have the power to plant new seeds, to imagine a new reality to being. This is the essence of mental strength. The ability to hold steadfast to your vision, regardless of present circumstances. Let us delve deeper into this concept. The world you see is Maya, illusion. It is a shadow play, a reflection of your consciousness. When you truly grasp this truth, you will understand that to change your world, you need only change your consciousness. This is where the practice of revision becomes invaluable. Revision is the art of reimagining past events in a way that aligns with your desires. If you have experienced failure or disappointment, instead of dwelling on these experiences and reinforcing them in your consciousness, you can revise them. Imagine how you would have preferred the situation to unfold. Feel the joy and satisfaction of this revised scenario as if it had actually happened. This practice of revision is not about denying reality or living in fantasy. It is about understanding the fluid nature of time and memory and using this understanding to your advantage. By revising the past in your imagination, you alter the trajectory of your future. You plant new seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, seeds that will inevitably sprout and bear fruit in your experience. As you engage in these practices, living in the end and revision, you will begin to notice a shift in your mental state. You will find yourself becoming more resilient, more optimistic, more certain of your power to shape your reality. This is mental strength in action. It is the ability to maintain a positive and purposeful state of mind, regardless of external circumstances. But let me be clear, my dear friends. Mental strength is not about forcing things to happen through sheer willpower. It is not about struggling against the current of life. Rather, it is about aligning yourself with the natural flow of creation. It is about understanding and applying the laws that govern the universe. One of these fundamental laws is the law of assumption. This law states that whatever you assume to be true will be manifested in your reality. Your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, shape your world. Therefore, to become mentally strong, you must become aware of your assumptions and learn to consciously choose those that serve your highest good. For instance, if you assume that life is a struggle and that success is hard to come by, you will experience a reality that confirms these assumptions. On the other hand, if you assume that life is abundant and that success comes easily to you, your experience will reflect these beliefs. The key is to become aware of your assumptions and to deliberately choose those that align with your desires. This process of becoming aware of it, changing your assumptions, requires mental discipline. It demands that you become the watchman at the gate of your mind, carefully monitoring the thoughts and beliefs you allow to take root in your consciousness. This vigilance is a hallmark of mental strength. Now, you might be wondering, how do I change deeply ingrained assumptions and beliefs? The answer lies in the practice of what I call the law of reversibility. This law states that while feelings follow thoughts, thoughts also follow feelings. In other words, by deliberately inducing the feeling state associated with your desire, you can evoke thoughts and assumptions that align with that state. Let me explain this further. Suppose you want to cultivate an assumption of abundance. Instead of trying to force yourself to think abundant thoughts, you would induce the feeling of abundance. You would imagine what it feels like to be abundantly supplied in all areas of your life. As you persist in this feeling, you will find that thoughts of lack and scarcity naturally fall away, replaced by thoughts and assumptions of abundance. This practice of inducing feeling states is a powerful tool for mental strength. It allows you to bypass the resistance of your rational mind and directly influence your subconscious, where your deepest beliefs and assumptions reside. As you master this technique, you will find yourself becoming more adept at shaping your mental state at will. But remember, my friends, mental strength is not about suppressing or denying negative emotions. It is about understanding the transient nature of all emotional states and learning to navigate them skillfully. When challenging emotions arise, acknowledge them, but do not identify with them. See them as passing clouds in the vast sky of your consciousness. This ability to observe your emotions without being consumed by them is a crucial aspect of mental strength. It allows you to maintain your chosen state of consciousness even in the face of adversity. It enables you to respond to life's challenges from a place of clarity and purpose rather than reacting from a place of fear or anger. As you cultivate this observational stance, you will begin to notice the gap between stimulus and response. In this gap lies your power to choose your reaction. This is where true freedom resides. As you become more aware of this gap, you will find yourself becoming less reactive and more responsive to life's events. Now, let us discuss another vital aspect of mental strength: the power of your self-talk. The conversations you have with yourself shape your reality in profound ways. Therefore, to become mentally strong, you must become acutely aware of your inner dialogue and learn to direct it consciously. Many people unconsciously engage in negative self-talk, constantly criticizing themselves and reinforcing limiting beliefs. This negative self-talk is like a poison that corrupts your mental and emotional state. To counteract this, you must learn to speak to yourself with kindness and encouragement. But it's not enough to simply replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations. You must go deeper. you must speak to yourself from the perspective of your ideal self, the version of you that has already achieved what you desire. This is not about deceiving yourself, but about aligning your inner dialogue with your highest vision for yourself. For instance, instead of saying, I hope I can become more confident, you would say, I am confident and self-assured in all situations. Instead of saying, I'll try to be more successful, you would say, I am successful in all my endeavors. This shift in language might seem subtle, but its effects are profound. It aligns your conscious mind with your subconscious, creating a powerful synergy that propels you towards your goals. Remember, my dear friends, the words you speak to yourself are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Choose these words carefully, for they will grow and bear fruit in your experience. This conscious use of language is a hallmark of mental strength. Now let us delve into another crucial aspect of mental strength: the power of focus. Your ability to direct and sustain your attention is a key determinant of your mental state and, consequently, your life experience. In a world filled with distractions, the capacity to focus your mind is more valuable than ever. But what should you focus on? The answer is simple yet profound. Focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. This might seem obvious, but many people spend their mental energy dwelling on their problems, fears, and limitations. They focus on what's wrong in their lives rather than on what they wish to create. Remember, my friends, energy flows where attention goes. Whatever you consistently focus on will expand in your experience. Therefore, to become mentally strong, you must train your mind to dwell on your desired outcomes, on the life you wish to create, on the person you aspire to be. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or challenges when they arise. It means approaching them from a solution-oriented mindset. Instead of fixating on the problem, focus your attention on finding a solution. Ask yourself empowering questions like, how can I turn this situation to my advantage? Or what opportunity for growth does this challenge present? As you cultivate this habit of focused attention, you will find your mental strength growing. You will become less reactive to external circumstances and more proactive in shaping your reality. You will develop a sense of inner calm and certainty that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and poise. Now, let us discuss another vital aspect of mental strength: the power of persistence. The ability to persist in your chosen course of action despite obstacles and setbacks is a hallmark of a strong mind. It is easy to maintain a positive mental state when things are going well. The true test of mental strength comes when you face adversity. Persistence doesn't mean stubbornly pushing against immovable obstacles. It means maintaining your faith in your vision even when the external evidence seems to contradict it. It means holding fast to your assumption of success even when temporary failures occur. It means continuing to live in the end, to feel the reality of your desire, even when your current circumstances seem far removed from your goal. Remember, my dear friends, that manifestation is not always instantaneous. There's often a time lag between the conception of a desire in your imagination and its appearance in your physical reality. This time lag is a test of your faith and persistence. Those who can maintain their chosen state of consciousness, regardless of external circumstances, are the ones who ultimately succeed in bringing their desires into manifestation. Think of it this way. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to check its progress. You trust in the natural process of growth. You continue to water and nurture the soil, knowing that in due time the seed will sprout and grow into a plant. The same principle applies to the seeds of your desires, planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Your job is to continue nurturing these seeds through your imagination and feeling. Trust in the law, knowing that what you have planted must inevitably come to fruition. This unwavering faith, this persistent holding to your vision, is a powerful demonstration of mental strength. Now, let us explore another crucial aspect of mental strength: the power of detachment. This might seem paradoxical at first. How can detachment contribute to mental strength? Isn't it important to be passionate and committed to our goals? The truth is, detachment is not about lack of desire or commitment. It's about releasing the anxiety and desperation that often accompany intense wanting. When you are overly attached to a specific outcome, you create resistance. You become tense and fearful, constantly worrying about whether or not your desire will manifest. True mental strength comes from a place of calm certainty. It's the ability to desire something deeply, to work towards it consistently, while simultaneously trusting in the perfect unfolding of events. It's knowing that whether or not a particular desire manifests, you are whole and complete as you are. This state of detachment allows you to remain centered and balanced, regardless of external circumstances. It enables you to enjoy the journey, rather than fixating solely on the destination. It frees you from the emotional roller coaster of elation and despair that comes with attachment to outcomes. To cultivate this detachment, practice surrendering your desires to your higher self, to the divine within you. After you have done your part, living in the end, feeling the reality of your desire, trust the infinite intelligence of the universe will bring about the best possible outcome in the best possible way, at the best possible time. This surrender is not passive resignation. It is active trust. It is the recognition that while you have the power to shape your reality through your imagination and assumption, the exact manner and timing of manifestation is not always under your conscious control. This balance of active creation and surrender is a hallmark of true mental strength. Now, my dear friends, let us discuss another vital aspect of mental strength, the power of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions in service of your higher goals. It is the bridge between your intentions and your results. Many people mistakenly believe that self-discipline is about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. But true self-discipline comes from a deep alignment with your highest vision for yourself. When you are clear about what you truly want, when you can feel the reality of your desire, self-discipline becomes natural and effortless. For instance, if you truly embody the state of being a successful and productive person, you will naturally engage in behaviors that support this state. You won't need to force yourself to work hard or to manage your time effectively. These behaviors will flow naturally from your assumed state of being. This is why the practice of living in the end is so powerful. By consistently assuming the state of your wish fulfilled, you naturally align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that state. This alignment is the essence of self-discipline. However, this doesn't mean that you won't face challenges or moments of weakness. Mental strength is not about never experiencing doubt or fear. It's about how you respond to these experiences when they arise. It's about your ability to return to your chosen state of consciousness, even after temporary lapses. This is where the practice of revision becomes invaluable. If you find yourself slipping into old patterns of thought or behavior, don't berate yourself. Instead, revise the experience of your imagination. See yourself responding in a way that aligns with your highest vision for yourself. Feel the satisfaction and pride of having demonstrated self-discipline and mental strength. As you persist in this practice, you will find your capacity for self-discipline growing. You will become more consistent in your thoughts, emotions, and actions. This consistency is a powerful manifestation of mental strength. Now let us explore another crucial aspect of mental strength, the power of gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a polite social convention. It is a powerful state of consciousness that can transform your entire life experience. When you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you align yourself with the abundance of the universe. You shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have. This shift in focus changes your entire vibration, making you a magnet for more positive experiences. But gratitude is not just about being thankful for the good things in your life. True mental strength comes from the ability to find something to be grateful for in every situation, even those that appear challenging or unpleasant on the surface. Remember, my friends, every experience, every circumstance contains within it the seed of an equivalent greater benefit. When you can maintain an attitude of gratitude, even in the face of apparent adversity, you demonstrate true mental strength. Moreover, gratitude is a powerful antidote to fear and anxiety. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you cannot simultaneously focus on what you fear. This is why the practice of gratitude is so effective in building mental resilience. I encourage you to make gratitude a daily practice. Each day, take time to reflect on the things you're grateful for. Feel the emotion of gratitude deeply. Let it permeate your entire being. As you do this consistently, you will find your mental state becoming more positive and resilient. Now, let us discuss another vital aspect of mental strength, the power of forgiveness. Many people carry the weight of past hurts and resentments, not realizing how much these negative emotions drain their mental and emotional energy. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to share a profound truth, a secret that has the power to transform your entire existence. The topic of our discussion is don't react, cut them off silently. And I assure you, this principle holds within it the very essence of creation itself. Now, you might be wondering, what does it mean to cut them off silently? Who are they? And why should we not react? My dear friends, they're not external entities or individuals, but rather the old states of consciousness that no longer serve your higher self. The reactive patterns, the habitual thoughts, the limiting beliefs, these are what we must cut off, and we must do so silently, within the sanctum of our own imagination. You see, the world you experience is nothing more than an outpicturing of your consciousness. Every person, every circumstance, every event in your life is a reflection of your inner state. When you react to these external manifestations, you are giving power to the very state you wish to transcend. You are, in essence, watering the seeds of what you do not want to grow. But when you cut them off silently, when you refuse to engage with these old patterns, you are withdrawing your attention and thus your creative power from them. Remember, attention is the currency of your mind. Where you place your attention, there flows the energy of creation. Let me illustrate this with a simple example. Imagine you are in a situation that would typically provoke a reaction of anger or frustration. Perhaps someone has criticized you unfairly, or you've faced an unexpected setback. The old you might have lashed out, defended yourself vehemently, or fallen into despair. But the new you, the you that understands the power of imagination, does something entirely different. Instead of reacting, you paused. You recognize that this external event is merely shadow, a reflection of an old state of consciousness. And in that moment of recognition, you make a choice. You choose to cut off that old state silently. You turn your attention away from the seeming reality of the external world and towards the only true reality, the reality of your imagination. In your imagination, you see yourself as you wish to be. Calm, confident, unaffected by external circumstances. You feel the naturalness of this state. And as you dwell in this new state, as you make it alive within you, you are literally transforming your world from the inside out. This, my friends, is the true meaning of don't react. Cut them off silently. It is not a passive act of suppression, but rather an active, creative process of choosing a new state of being. It is the art of conscious assumption, the practice of embodying the state of the wish fulfilled. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't this just ignoring reality? Isn't it irresponsible to not react to the challenges and problems in our lives? And to this, I say, what you call reality is nothing more than fruit of past assumptions. It is the harvest of seeds planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. When you react to it, you are simply planting more seeds of the same kind. But when you cut off these reactions silently, when you shift your attention to the desired state, you are planting new seeds. You are choosing a new assumption and thus creating a new reality. This is not irresponsible. It is the highest responsibility you can take. For you are the operant power in your world. And by consciously choosing your state of being, you are consciously creating your world. Let us delve deeper into this principle. When I say don't react, I am not advocating for a life of inaction or passivity. Far from it. I'm calling you to the most profound action possible. The action of consciously assuming the state of your wish fulfilled. This action takes place not in the outer world, but in the inner world of your imagination. You see, most people live their lives backwards. They look to the outside world for causes, for reasons to feel or behave in certain ways. They're constantly reacting to what they perceive as external stimuli. But the truth, the great secret of life, is that the outer world is not the cause, but the effect. Your consciousness is the only cause there is. When you truly understand this, when you internalize this truth, you will see the folly of reacting to external circumstances. It's like arguing with your own shadow. Instead, you will learn to direct your attention, your consciousness towards the state you wish to embody. And as you dwell in this state, as you make it alive within you, the outer world has no choice. This is what it means to cut them off silently. You are severing the connection between external stimuli and your internal state. You are reclaiming your power as the creator of your reality. And you do this not through force or struggle, but silently in the quiet of your own imagination. Imagine for a moment that you are an actor on a stage. The circumstances of your life are the script you've been given. Now, most people feel bound by this script. They react to every line, every stage direction, believing they have no choice. But you, my dear friends, you understand the power of imagination. You know better. You know that you can step off that stage at any moment. You can walk into the wings, into the dressing room of your imagination, and put on a new costume. You can assume a new role, a new state of being. And when you return to the stage, fully embodying this new state, the entire play changes around you. This is the magic, the miracle of consciousness. This is the power you hold within you. And it all begins with that simple yet profound choice. Don't react. Cut them off silently. Now let's explore how this principle applies in your daily life. Perhaps you're in a job that no longer satisfies you. The old you might have reacted with frustration, complaining about your circumstances, feeling trapped and powerless. But the new you, the you that understands the power of imagination, instead of reacting to the unwanted circumstances, you cut them off silently. You withdraw your attention from the current job and all its associated frustrations. Instead, you turn your attention to the job you desire. In your imagination, you see yourself in that new position. You feel the satisfaction of doing work you love. You experience the joy of using your talents fully. Here's the crucial part. You dwell in this state. You make it so alive, so real in your imagination that it feels more present, more tangible than your current circumstances. You live from this new assumption, this new state of being. What happens next might seem like magic to those who don't understand the law of consciousness. Opportunities begin to appear. The right people come into your life. Circumstances align in ways you couldn't have planned. And before long, you find yourself in that very job you imagined, wondering how it all happened so seamlessly. But you know that it was your choice to not react, to cut off the old state silently, and to assume the new state that created this new reality. You have witnessed firsthand the creative power of your consciousness. Let's take another example. Perhaps you're in a relationship that's filled with conflict. The old you might have reacted to every perceived slight, every disagreement. You might have engaged in arguments trying to prove your point or change the other person. But the new you, the you that understands the power of imagination, chooses a different path. Instead of reacting to the conflict, you cut it off silently. You withdraw your attention from the problems, the disagreements, the tensions. Instead, you turn your attention to the relationship you desire. In your imagination, you see yourself in a harmonious, loving relationship. You feel the warmth of mutual understanding, the joy of deep connection. Again, you dwell in this state. You make it so real in your imagination that it becomes more vivid, more present in the current circumstances. You live from this new assumption, this new state of being. And once again, what follows might seem miraculous. The dynamics of the relationship begin to shift. Your partner seems to change, becoming more understanding, more loving. The conflicts that once seemed insurmountable begin to dissolve, and you find yourself in the very relationship. You imagine marveling at the transformation. But you understand. You know that it wasn't your partner who changed, but you. By choosing not to react, by cutting off the old state silently, and by assuming the new state, you transformed your world from within. This, my dear friends, is the power you hold within you. This is the creative force of your consciousness. And it is available to you in every moment, in every area of your life. Now, some of you might be wondering, but Neville, what about when things go wrong? What about when we face real challenges or tragedies? And to this I say, they're not real tragedies, not real challenges outside of your assumption of them as such. What you perceive as a tragedy or a challenge is simply an opportunity to exercise your power of assumption when faced with what appears to be a difficult situation. Remember, don't react, cut them off silently. Don't give power to the appearance by reacting to it. Instead, withdraw your attention from the seeming problem. Turn within to your imagination and assume the state of the solution already realized. If you are facing financial difficulties, don't react with fear or worry. Cut off those states silently. Instead, assume the state of financial abundance. Feel the relief, the security, the freedom that comes with financial well-being. Make this state so real in your imagination that it supersedes the current appearance of lack. If you're dealing with health issues, don't react with anxiety or despair. Cut off those states silently. Instead, assume the state of perfect health. Feel the vitality coursing through your body. Experience the joy of vibrant wealth. Dwell in this state until it becomes more real to you than any physical symptom. Remember, the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner assumptions. By refusing to react to its appearances and instead consciously choosing your state of being, you are exercising your divine creative power. You are fulfilling your role as the operant power in your universe. Now, I want to address a common misconception. When I say don't react, cut them off silently, I'm not advocating for a life of emotional suppression or denial. This principle is not about ignoring your feelings or pretending that challenges don't exist. Rather, it's about recognizing the true source of your feelings and experiences and consciously choosing the state from which you wish to operate. You see, your emotions are not caused by external circumstances. They are the result of your state of consciousness, your assumptions about reality. When you react emotionally to external events, you are unconsciously accepting those events as causes of your internal state. But when you understand that your consciousness is the only cause, you liberate yourself from this reactive pattern. Instead of reacting, you observe. You witness your emotions without identifying with them. And in that space of awareness, you make a choice. You choose the state you wish to embody, regardless of external appearances. This is what it means to cut them off silently. You are severing the assumed connection between external events and your internal state. This practice requires vigilance and persistence. The habits of reaction are deeply ingrained, reinforced by years of unconscious living. But with consistent practice, you will find yourself naturally assuming the state of your wish fulfilled, regardless of external circumstances. Imagine for a moment that you are standing before a mirror. The reflection you see is your current life circumstances. Now, if you don't like what you see, what do? Do you argue with the reflection? Do you try to change it directly? Of course not. You understand that to change the reflection, you must change yourself. This is precisely how you should approach your life. Your external world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. When you don't like what you see, don't react to it. Don't try to change it directly. Instead, turn within. Change your assumption, your state of being. And watch as the reflection, your outer world, changes to match your new inner state. This, my friends, is the art of living creatively. It is the practice of conscious manifestation. And it all begins with that simple yet profound choice. Don't react, cut them off silently. Now let's discuss how to implement this principle in your daily life. The key is to cultivate a state of awareness, a witnessing consciousness that observes your thoughts, feelings, and reactions without getting caught up in them. This awareness creates a space, a pause between stimulus and response, and in that space lies your power to choose. When you notice yourself beginning to react to a person or situation, pause. Take a deep breath. Remember that what you're seeing is not the cause of your reaction, but the effect of your past assumptions. In that moment of recognition, you have the power to cut off the old state silently. How do you do this? By turning your attention away from the external situation and towards your desired state of being. Ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were already fulfilled? What would my inner state be if I were already the person I wish to be? Then, using the power of your imagination, step into that state, feel it, experience it as vividly as you can. Make it more real to you than the current circumstances. This is not mere visualization or positive thinking. This is the active assumption of the state of your wish fulfilled. As you practice this, you'll find that your reactions to external events begin to change naturally. What once provoked anger or fear now passes by without affecting your inner state. You become less reactive and more creative, less a victim of circumstances, and more the conscious author of your life. Remember, the outer world has no power over you, except the power you give it through your attention and assumption. When you withdraw your attention from unwanted circumstances and place it firmly on your desired state, you are literally shifting the foundations of your reality. This practice may seem challenging, but first, especially when faced with deeply ingrained patterns or particularly difficult circumstances, remember that every time you choose not to react, every time you cut off an old state silently and assume a new one, you are exercising your creative power. You are reshaping your world from within. Consider for a moment the immense implications of this principle. If your consciousness is the only cause, if your assumptions create your reality, then there are truly no limitations to what you can be, do, or have. The only constraints are those you accept in your own mind. When you fully embrace this truth, when you consistently practice the art of not reacting, and consciously assuming your desired state, you step into your true power as a creative being. You become the conscious author of your life story. No longer a passive reader reacting to every plot twist, but the writer, director, and star of your own magnificent production. Imagine living from this state of empowerment. Imagine moving through your days with the unshakable knowing that you are the creator of your reality. How would you approach challenges? How would you interact with others? How would you pursue your dreams and aspirations? You would no longer be swayed by external circumstances. You would no longer be at the mercy of other people's opinions or actions. You would stand firm in your own creative power, consistently choosing the state from which you wish to operate, regardless of appearances. This, my dear friends, is true freedom. It is the liberation that comes from recognizing and embracing your divine nature as a creative being. And it all begins with that simple yet profound choice. Don't react. Cut them off silently. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a crucial point. The principle we've explored today, don't react, cut them off silently, is not merely a technique for achieving your desires or improving your life circumstances. While it certainly leads to these outcomes, its true significance is far greater. This principle is nothing less than the key to awakening to your true nature. It is the path to realizing your oneness with the creative power of the universe. For when you consistently practice not reacting to external stimuli, and instead consciously choosing your state of being, you are aligning yourself with the fundamental creative principle of existence. You see, in the ultimate reality, there is no separation between you and the creative power you call God. Your consciousness, your I am, is that very power individualized as you. When you react to external circumstances, you are temporarily forgetting this truth. You are seeing yourself as separate from the creative power, as a victim of external forces. But when you cut off these reactions silently, When you consciously choose your state of being regardless of appearances, you are acknowledging and embodying your true nature as the operant power in your world. You are saying, in essence, I am the creator of my reality. This is why this principle is so transformative. It's not just about getting what you want in life, although that certainly happens. It's about awakening to who you truly are. It's about stepping into your divine inheritance as a creative being. As you practice this principle, as you consistently choose not to react, but to assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself undergoing a profound transformation. You will begin to see the world differently. You will recognize the creative power of your consciousness at work in every aspect of your life. You will see that every person, every circumstance, every event in your life is a reflection of your own consciousness. And with this recognition comes an immense sense of freedom and empowerment. For if your consciousness creates your reality, then by changing your consciousness, you can change your entire world. This, my friends, is the promise and the challenge that lies before you. The promise of limitless creative power, of the ability to shape your reality according to your highest vision, and the challenge of consistently remembering and embodying this truth, of refusing to be swayed by appearances and instead standing firm in the knowledge of your creative power. As you leave here today, I urge you to take this principle into your daily life. Practice it diligently. When you find yourself beginning to react to a person or situation, pause. Remember that what you're seeing is not the cause, but the effect of your consciousness.
Let me begin by telling you that everything you see in your world, every circumstance, every relationship, every penny in your bank account is nothing more than your consciousness pushed out. There is no such thing as an external reality separate from your consciousness. The world you experience is a mirror, reflecting back to you your own concept of self, your own understanding of the I am. Now, what do I mean by I am? This is the most crucial understanding you must grasp tonight. I am is God's name. When Moses asked, "Who shall I say sent me?" the response was, "I am that I am." This same I am dwells within you, and it is your true identity. It is not something separate from you. It is the very core of your being. But here is where most people go astray. They use this mighty I am unconsciously, attaching to it all manner of limitations and negative assumptions. They say, "I am sick, I am broke, I am unlucky," not realizing that they are using the creative power of the universe to establish these very conditions in their lives. Let me share with you a principle that will transform your understanding forever. Whatever falls your I am becomes your reality. It is an immutable law, as certain as the law of gravity. When you declare I am, you are activating the creative power of God within you, and whatever you attach to that declaration must, by divine law, be made manifest in your world. Think about it. Throughout your day, how many times do you unconsciously make I am statements that contradict what you truly desire to be? Every time you say or think, "I am not good enough, I am struggling, I am confused," you are using the creative power of God to create those very conditions in your experience. But here is the wonderful news. You can consciously choose what you attach to I am. This is the mastery of mind we speak of tonight. You are not bound by your past, your current circumstance, or what others think of you. You are bound only by your concept of self, by what you accept as true about yourself. Let me give you a simple example. Suppose you desire financial abundance, but your current bank account shows lack. The natural tendency is to look at the bank account and say, "I am poor," or "I am struggling financially." But this is precisely backward. Your bank account is not the cause of your financial state. It is the effect of your consciousness about money. To change your financial reality, you must first change your concept of self regarding money. You must dare to declare, I am wealthy, even when your senses deny it. This is not lying to yourself. This is understanding the law of consciousness. Your external reality must conform to your inner conviction about who you are. Now, some of you might be thinking, "But Neville, isn't this just positive thinking or self-deception?" No, my dear friends, this is far more fundamental than positive thinking. This is about understanding the nature of reality itself. Your consciousness is the only reality. What you are conscious of being, you must become. Consider the biblical statement, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." This is not merely suggesting a change in thinking, it is revealing the law of transformation. When you change your concept of self, when you consciously choose what to attach to your I am, you are literally transforming your entire world. Let me share with you how to practically apply this law. First, you must understand that your imaginal acts are real acts. When you imagine yourself being what you desire to be, you are creating reality. Your physical reality must conform to your imaginal acts when they are persistent and felt with conviction. Here is a technique I have taught for years before you go to sleep at night. Create a scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. If you want to be wealthy, feel the joy and security of having abundance. If you want to be healthy, feel the vitality and strength in your body. If you want to be loved, feel the warmth of loving relationships. But, and this is crucial, you must feel the reality of your imaginal act. It's not enough to merely visualize it. You must enter the scene completely, embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Feel the naturalness of being what you desire to be. The feeling is the secret. Remember, your consciousness is not confined to the boundaries of your physical body. Your consciousness is God, and God is not limited by space or time. Therefore, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are actually experiencing that reality now, and your physical world must reshape itself to match your assumption. Let me give you another powerful technique for mastering your mind. Throughout your day, catch yourself whenever you make an unconscious I am statement. Become aware of how you are using this creative power. Then consciously choose different statements that align with your desires. Instead of saying, I am tired, say, I am vitality itself. Instead of saying, I am worried, say, I am peace. Instead of saying, I am lonely, say, I am infinitely loved. But remember, these are not mere affirmations. They are recognition of your true nature. When you say, I am wealth, you are not trying to convince yourself of something false. You are acknowledging the truth that you are the God power that creates all wealth, and therefore wealth must be your natural state. Now let's address the resistance that might arise in your mind. Your rational mind, based on past experience and current circumstances, might argue against your new assumptions. This is natural. But understand this, your rational mind can only draw conclusions based on the past. It cannot create anything new. Creation comes from consciousness, from the I am within you. When doubts arise, do not fight them. Simply return to your chosen assumption. If you have decided I am wealthy, and thoughts of lack arise, gently but firmly return to your chosen state. Remember, what you persist in assuming must become your reality. This is law. Let me share with you a profound truth that many myths, the state you assume, if persisted in, will become so natural that it will become your predominant state. This is why many fail in their attempts to change. They try on a new state, but abandon it before it becomes natural. They treat it as a temporary exercise rather than a new way of being. Consider a person learning to play the piano. At first, the movements are awkward, unnatural. But with persistence, what was once difficult becomes effortless. The same is true with your new concept of self. What feels unnatural at first will, with persistence, become your natural state of being. This brings us to another crucial aspect of mastering your mind, the importance of feeling. Your feeling about yourself is your real belief. You may declare with your lips, I am wealthy, but if you feel poor, it is the feeling that will manifest. Therefore, you must cultivate the feeling of your wish fulfilled until it becomes your predominant feeling. How do you do this? By living from the end. Act as though you are already wished to be. How would you feel if you were already wealthy? How would you carry yourself? How would you think about money? Begin to embody these feelings and thoughts now, not as an act, but as a recognition of your true state. Remember the biblical injunction, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. The Christ mind is the awareness of being God in expression. It is the understanding that I am is God, and that you can be anything you choose to be by consciously embodying that state. Now let me address a common misconception. Many believe that external actions are needed to create change. While action is not to be denied, it is not the cause of your good. Action follows being. When you truly assume a new state of consciousness, the appropriate actions will flow naturally from that state. For instance, if you truly embody the consciousness of wealth, you will naturally take actions that wealthy people take. You will see opportunities that were always there but were invisible to your previous state of consciousness. You will make decisions from a place of abundance rather than lack. This is why I tell you, change your concept of self, and you change your entire world. Your outer world is nothing more than your inner world pushed out. There is no other creator in your world but your own wonderful human imagination. Let me share with you another powerful practice for mastering your mind. Throughout your day, pause and ask yourself, what am I conscious of being right now? This simple practice will make you aware of the state you are occupying. Remember, whatever state you occupy, that you become. If you find yourself in an undesirable state, know that you have the power to move from that state instantly. How? By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you are feeling lack, immediately assume the feeling of abundance. If you are feeling loneliness, immediately assume the feeling of being deeply loved. This is not denial of the current circumstances. This is understanding that circumstances do not create your reality. Your consciousness creates your circumstances. Therefore, to change any circumstance, change your consciousness first. Consider this: every moment of your life, you are choosing a state of consciousness. Most people choose unconsciously, reacting to circumstances and perpetuating the same patterns. But you, understanding this law, can choose consciously. You can choose what you wish to be regardless of what your senses tell you. This is the true meaning of free will. Your free will is not in controlling external events, it is in choosing what you wish to be conscious of. And since your outer world must conform to your inner assumptions, this is the ultimate power. Let me give you a practical exercise to strengthen this understanding. Tonight before you sleep, review your day. Notice the various states you occupy. Were you conscious of being limited or unlimited? Were you conscious of being powerful or powerless? Were you conscious of being wealthy or poor? Then make a conscious decision about what state you choose to occupy tomorrow. Select the states that align with your desires. Feel yourself into these states now. Fall asleep in the assumption that this is who you are. Remember, sleep is the time when your conscious and subconscious minds are most relaxed, most receptive to new impressions. What you impress upon your consciousness as you fall asleep will work throughout the night to create corresponding conditions in your life. Now let's address persistence. Many abandon their imaginal acts because they don't see immediate results. But understand this: the time it takes for your assumption to become your physical reality is proportionate to how natural the assumption feels. The more real and natural your new state feels, the quicker it will manifest. This is why I emphasize the importance of feeling. You must feel the reality of your new state now. Don't think of it as something that will be true in the future. Think of it as something that is true now. And your physical reality is catching up to this truth. Consider the story of the prodigal son. He had to come to himself before he could return to his father's house. This is exactly what you do when you assume a new state. You are coming to yourself, remembering who you really are, claiming your divine inheritance. Your divine inheritance is the power to be whatever you choose to be. This is not something you need to achieve, it is something you need to accept. You already are what you desire to be, but you must claim it in consciousness first. Let me share with you another powerful truth. Your world is your consciousness objectified. Everything you see, everyone you meet, every circumstance you encounter is yourself pushed out. Therefore, to change anything in your world, change yourself first. If you want more love in your world, become more loving in consciousness. If you want more success in your world, embody the consciousness of success. If you want more abundance in your world, expand your consciousness to include abundance as your natural state. This is the true meaning of seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things shall be added unto you. The kingdom of heaven is your own wonderful human imagination, your consciousness. When you seek first the right state of consciousness, everything else must follow. Remember, you are not working to make things happen. You are working to achieve a state of consciousness. Once the state is achieved, the things must happen, for that is law. As we near the conclusion of our discussion tonight, let me emphasize this point. You are not what you think you are, but what you think you are. Your concept of self is either limiting you or setting you free. Choose wisely what you wish to think about yourself. Every moment of every day you are using the power of I am. Make it a conscious use. Don't let your I am be determined by circumstances, memories, or others' opinions. Choose what you wish to be and claim it now with your I am. The mastery of mind we speak of is really the mastery of your I am. When you master this, you master your entire world. For there is no power outside of your own consciousness that can affect your life. Consider for a moment, every time you say I am, you are literally moving through states of consciousness. These states are all present now, existing simultaneously like different channels on a radio. Your job is not to create these states, for they already exist. Your job is simply to tune into them through a wonderful humanization. Let me give you an example from my own experience. Years ago, when I was in Barbados, I met a young lady who desperately wanted to travel to America, but lacked the means. I taught her this very principle we're discussing tonight. I told her, instead of saying I want to go to America, which implies lack and separation, assume I am in America. She didn't need to know how it would happen. Her only task was to persist in that assumption. You see, when you say I am, you are activating the very essence of God within you. This is why the Bible tells us, be still and know that I am God. This stillness is not physical stillness, but rather the quiet knowing that what you are assuming is already done. Think about this. Every great achievement in human history began with someone assuming I am. Before the Wright brothers flew, they first assumed I am capable of flying. Before Edison illuminated the world, he first assumed I am the one who will bring light. These were not mere positive thoughts. They were assumptions that carried the weight of reality and consciousness. Let me share another secret that few understand. The feeling of your assumption being realized is the real secret. When you assume I am wealthy, you must feel the relief, the security, the freedom that wealth brings. When you assume I am healthy, feel the vitality coursing through your body. These feelings are the prayer, and feeling is the secret. Many of you come to me and ask, but Neville, how long must I persist in my assumption? And I tell you this, persist until your assumption feels more real to you than the evidence of your senses. When you can walk in the absolute conviction of your assumption, despite all evidence to the contrary, you have mastered the art of living. Consider the story of the prophet Elijah. When he prayed for rain during a devastating drought, he persisted in his assumption of rain until his servant saw a cloud the size of a man's hand. This is how you must persist in your assumption until you see the first signs of its manifestation in your world. But remember this, the signs follow, they do not precede. Too many of you are looking for signs before you will believe. This is backwards. You must first believe, which means to assume the feeling of you're fulfilled, and then the signs will follow as a matter of course. Let me share something profound about the nature of time in relation to your assumptions. When you assume a state, you are actually selecting it from the infinite states that already exist. It's like choosing a book from a vast library. The book already exists. You're simply selecting it through your attention and assumption. This is why I tell you that imaginal acts are real acts. When you imagine yourself being what you desire to be, you are actually experiencing that reality in a dimension just as real as this physical one. Your physical reality must then conform to match this imaginal act, for that is the law of consciousness. Consider how you wake up each morning. Before you even open your eyes, you remember who you are, where you are, and what your life situation is. But I tell you this, that remembrance is an assumption. You can, if you dare, assume a different state entirely. You can wake up remembering yourself as the person you wish to be. This is not fantasy or wishful thinking. This is the conscious use of the law that governs all manifestation. Your physical reality is nothing more than your assumptions crystallized. Change your assumptions, and you must change your world. Let me share another technique that I found particularly powerful. Throughout your day, whenever you catch yourself saying or thinking, I am fortified by something you do not wish to be, stop immediately. Cancel that assumption by declaring, "That's not what I mean to assume." Then consciously choose a new assumption that aligns with your desires. This practice requires vigilance. You must become aware of your mental diet, of what you're feeding your consciousness through your I am statements. Just as you wouldn't knowingly eat poisoned food, stop poisoning your consciousness with negative assumptions. Remember the biblical story of Job. His trials didn't end until he changed his assumption about himself and his relationship with God. When he finally assumed his rightful place as blessed and prosperous, his fortunes were restored double. This is not just a story. It's a demonstration of the law we're discussing tonight. Your entire life is a series of assumptions crystallized. Look around your world right now. Everything you see, everything you experience was once just an assumption in your consciousness. The clothes you're wearing, the chair you're sitting in, the relationships you have, all were first assumed in consciousness before they became physical facts. This is why mastery of mind is so crucial. Your mind, through the power of assumption, is quite literally creating your reality moment by moment. Most people do this unconsciously, reacting to circumstances and perpetuating the same patterns. But you, armed with this knowledge, can do it consciously. Let me share something else about the nature of assumption. When you assume a state, you must give it all the tones of reality. You must live from that assumption as if it were already fact. If you assume wealth, begin to think from wealth, not of wealth. There's a crucial difference here. Thinking of wealth keeps it as something separate from you, something to be achieved. Thinking from wealth means embodying the consciousness of being wealthy now. How would you think if you were already wealthy? How would you feel? How would you act? Begin to live from that state now. Consider the biblical advice that the weak say, "I am, I strong." This is not suggesting self-deception. It's revealing the law of consciousness. When the weak assume, "I am strong," they are choosing a different state of consciousness, and their physical reality must conform to this new assumption. This is why I emphasize the importance of your mental conversations. What do you say to yourself throughout the day? What do you assume about yourself in your internal dialogues? These mental conversations are crucial because they reveal what you're actually assuming about yourself and your world. Let me share another powerful technique for mastering your assumptions. Before any important event or interaction, assume it has already happened perfectly. Live from the end, feeling the satisfaction and joy of the perfect outcome. This is not wishful thinking. This is consciously creating your reality. Remember, the universe is infinite response. It can only respond to what you are conscious of being. If you are conscious of lack, it must provide experiences of lack. If you are conscious of abundance, it must provide experiences of abundance. This is law or not chance. When you truly grasp this principle, you will understand that there is no need to manipulate external circumstances. Your only task is to assume the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. The external circumstances must then rearrange themselves to match your assumption. Think about this. Every moment of your life, you are choosing a state of consciousness. Most people choose unconsciously based on habits of thought and past experiences. But you, understanding this law, can choose consciously. You can choose what you wish to be, regardless of what your senses tell you. This is why I tell you that your imagination is God in action. When you imagine yourself being what you desire to be, you are actually experiencing that reality now. Your physical reality must then conform to match this imaginal experience. Consider how you fall asleep each night. The last assumption you hold as you drift off to sleep is particularly powerful, for it works throughout your sleep to create corresponding conditions in your life. This is why I emphasize the importance of assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled as you fall asleep. Let me share another profound truth about the nature of consciousness. Your consciousness is not confined to your physical body. Your consciousness is infinite, unlimited, unbounded. Therefore, when you assume a state, you are not reaching for something outside yourself. You are selecting from the infinite states that already exist within your own consciousness. This is why the Bible tells us that the kingdom of heaven is within. All states of consciousness exist within you now. Your task is not to create them, but to select them through your power of assumption. Remember, your world is yourself pushed out. Everything you experience is your consciousness objectified. Therefore, to change anything in your world, you must first change your consciousness. This is the true meaning of mastering your mind. Let me give you another technique for maintaining your desired state. Throughout your day, ask yourself, if I were the person I want to be, how would I see this situation? How would I react? What would I think? Then assume that consciousness now. This is not pretending or acting. This is understanding that all states exist now, and you are choosing which state to occupy. Just as you can move from one room to another in a house, you can move from one state of consciousness to another through your assumption. The mastery of mind we speak of tonight is really the mastery of assumption. When you master your assumptions, you master your world. For there is no power outside of your own consciousness that can determine your experience. Your life is a series of states, and you are always in a state. The question is, are you choosing your states consciously, or are you being chosen by your habits of thought? The mastery comes in conscious choice, in deliberately assuming the state that aligns with your desires. Remember this, the whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Every person, every circumstance, every event in your world is yourself pushed out. Therefore, to change your world, change yourself. Choose what you wish to be and claim it with your I am. As we conclude tonight, I want you to grasp this final truth. You are not what you think you are, but what you think you are. Your concept of self is either limiting you or setting you free. Choose wisely what you wish to think about yourself. Go forth tonight with this knowledge. Apply it consistently. Watch your world transform as you transform your concept of self. For you are indeed what you choose to be. And that choice is made in consciousness first and often always. Test this law. Prove it to yourself. Choose a new concept of self tonight. Feel its reality. Live from that assumption. Watch the miracles unfold in your life. For in mastering your mind through the power of assumption, you master your entire world. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. Master your consciousness and you master your world. For you are indeed what you choose to be. And that choice is made now, in this moment, with your wonderful human imagination. Thank you all, and good night. Let us begin with a fundamental principle. The world you see around you is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. Every circumstance, every person, every event in your life is a mirror showing you the contents of your own consciousness. This may seem daunting at first, but I assure you it is the most liberating realization you can have. For if the world is a reflection of your inner state, then to change your world, you need only change your inner state. And how do you change your inner state? By relaxing and letting go of your old beliefs, your old patterns of thought, and embracing the new. Imagine for a moment that you are an actor on a stage. The role you have been playing up until now has been assigned to you by society, by your upbringing, by the beliefs you have accumulated over the years. But now you have the power to step out of that role and choose a new one. You can be anyone you want to be, have anything you want to have, do anything you want to do. But here's the catch. You must first relax and let go of the old role. You must release your grip on the identity that no longer serves you. This is where many people stumble. They cling desperately to what they know, even if it makes them unhappy, because they fear the unknown. Yet, my friends, it is in the unknown that all possibility lies. It is in the void, the space of pure potential, that desires can take form. So I urge you, relax your grip on the known. Let go of your preconceptions about who you are and what you're capable of. For in that release, you create space for something new to enter. Now you might be thinking, but Neville, how can I let go when I want something so badly? How can I relax when my desire feels so urgent? And to this I say, your very wanting, your very striving, is what keeps your desire at bay. Consider for a moment the nature of wanting. When you want something, you are affirming its absence in your life. You are saying, I do not have this thing, and therefore I want it. But remember, the world is a reflection of your inner state. If you constantly affirm lack, you will experience lack. Instead, I invite you to adopt a new stance. Rather than wanting, choose knowing. Know that what you desire is already yours. Feel the reality of it now in this very moment. For in the realm of imagination, which is the true creative force in the universe, there is no distinction between what is real and what is imaginary. Let me share with you a principle that has transformed countless lives, the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume the feeling of yours fulfilled, if you live from the end as if your desire has already been realized, it must become your reality. But here's the crucial point. You must relax into this assumption. You must let go of any anxiety, any doubt, any need to make it happen. For in trying to force your desire into being, you are actually pushing it away. Think of it like this. Have you ever tried to remember to name a name? Or in fact, the harder you try, the more elusive it became. And then when you relaxed and let it go, it suddenly popped into your mind. This is the same principle at work in the manifestation of your desires. When you relax and let go, you allow the infinite intelligence of the universe to work on your behalf. You open yourself to inspiration, to synchronicities, to opportunities that you could never have planned or forced into being. So how do we put this into practice? How do we relax and let go while still maintaining the assumption of our desire fulfilled? The answer lies in your imagination. Every night, as you drift off to sleep, create a scene in your mind that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and as real as you can. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of having what you want. And then let it go. Release it into the universe, knowing that it is done. During your waking hours, whenever thoughts of lack or doubt creep in, gently redirect your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Don't fight the negative thoughts. That only gives them more power. Instead, relax and shift your focus to the reality you wish to experience. Remember, my friends, relaxation is not passivity. It is not giving up or resigning your circumstances. Rather, it is a state of alert receptivity. It is being open to the infinite possibilities that exist in every moment. When you are relaxed, you are in harmony with the creative forces of the universe. You are allowing life to flow through you, rather than trying to force life to conform to your will. And in this state of relaxed allowance, miracles can happen. Let me share with you a story that illustrates this principle. There was once a man who desperately wanted a promotion at work. He had been passed over several times, and with each rejection, his desire grew more intense, more desperate. He would lie awake at night, strategizing and worrying, trying to figure out how to make it happen. One day, he came across the principle we're discussing tonight. He decided to try it. Instead of striving and pushing, he relaxed. He imagined himself already in the new position, feeling the satisfaction and confidence it brought. He let go of his anxiety and his need to control the outcome. To his amazement, within weeks, he was called into his boss's office. Not only was he offered the prince seeking, but he was offered an even better position, one that hadn't even existed before. The company had created a new role that perfectly matched his skills and passions. This is the power of relaxing and letting go. When you release your grip on how things should unfold, you open yourself to possibilities beyond your current imagination. Now I want to address a common misconception. Some people here relax and let go and think it means sitting back and doing nothing, waiting for their desires to magically appear. This is not what I'm advocating. Relaxation does not mean inaction, it means inspired action. When you are relaxed and aligned with your desire, you will be moved to take action. But it will not feel like effort or struggle. It will feel natural, joyful, even effortless. Think of a master musician playing their instrument. They are relaxed, in a state of flow, yet fingers move with precision and skill. They are not forcing the music, they are allowing it to flow through to them. This is how you want to approach the creation of your desires. Be relaxed, be in flow, and allow inspired action to move through you. Trust that the right actions will become clear to you at the right time. Another aspect of relaxing and letting go is releasing attachment to the outcome. This can be challenging, especially when we want something very badly. But attachment creates tension, and tension blocks the flow of our good. Instead of being attached to a specific outcome, be open to the possibility that something even better than what you've imagined could come to you. Trust in the wisdom of the universe to bring you what is truly best for you. This doesn't mean giving up on your desires. It means holding them lightly with an open hand rather than a clenched fist. It means being willing to be surprised and delighted by how your desires manifest. Remember, my friends, the universe is infinitely abundant. There is no lack, no limitation, except in our own minds. When we relax and let go of our limiting beliefs, we open ourselves to this abundance. Now let's delve deeper into the idea that it is already yours. This is a powerful concept that, when fully grasped, can transform your entire approach to the manifestation. In the physical world, we are accustomed to a linear progression of events. We want something, we work towards it, and eventually we achieve it. But in the realm of consciousness, which is the true source of all creation, time does not exist in the same way. In consciousness, all possibilities exist simultaneously. The version of you who has already achieved your desire exists now, just as surely as the version of you sitting here listening to these words. Your task is not to create your desire, it already exists. Your task is to align your consciousness with the version of reality where your desire is fulfilled. This is why I often say, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you do this, you are tuning your consciousness to the frequency of your desire. You are stepping into the reality where it is already yours. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a radio with infinite stations. Each station represents a different version of reality. Right now, you might be tuned to the station where your desire is still unfulfilled. But by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are turning the dial to the station where your desire is already a fact. The physical world may take some time to catch up with this new frequency. But make no mistake, the moment you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it is done. The rest is just the playing out of events in the physical world. This is why it's so crucial to relax and let go. When you know that it's already yours, there's no need to strain or struggle. There's no need to manipulate external circumstances. Your only job is to maintain the consciousness of your transit field and allow the external world to reshape itself around your assumption. Let's explore this further with a practical example. Suppose you desire a loving, fulfilling relationship. Instead of focusing on the lack of this relationship in your current experience, you would assume the feeling of already being in this perfect relationship. How would you feel if you were already in this relationship? Perhaps you'd feel loved, secure, happy, and fulfilled. You'd go through your day with a sense of companionship, even when physically alone. You'd feel appreciated and valued. Your task then is to generate these feelings within yourself now, regardless of your current circumstances. As you do this, you are tuning yourself to the frequency of this relationship. You are stepping into the version of reality where this relationship already exists. This doesn't mean you pretend to be in a relationship when you're not. It means you embody the essence of what that relationship would bring you. You become the person who is already in that loving relationship. And here's the beautiful part. As you do this, you become magnetic to that very experience. The external world must reshape itself to match your inner state. This is the law of assumption at work. But remember, you must relax and let go of how and when this will manifest. Your job is not to make it happen, but to allow it to happen. Trust that the universe will bring this relationship to you in the perfect way and at the perfect time. This principle applies to every desire, whether it's for a new job, improved health, financial abundance, or any other aspiration. Whatever it is you want, it already exists in the realm of infinite possibilities. Your task is to let go of doubt and anxiety and step into the consciousness of already having it. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when discussing these principles. But Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do something to make our desires a reality? The answer is yes, action is often part of the process. But it's inspired action that comes from a place of knowing, not desperate action that comes from a place of lack. When you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you will be inspired to take actions that align with your desire. These actions will feel natural and effortless. You won't have to force yourself to do them. You'll be drawn to do them. For instance, if you're assuming the state of being your ideal career, you might find yourself naturally drawn to take a certain course, or to reach out to a particular person, or to apply for a specific job. These actions arise not from a place of lack or need, but from a place of alignment with your desire. The key is to take these inspired actions without attachment to the outcome. You do them because they feel right, not because you're trying to make something happen. This is the balance between action and letting go. Remember, relaxation doesn't mean passivity. It means being in a state of relaxed readiness, open to guidance and inspiration. It means trusting that the right actions will become clear to you at the right time. Now let's address another common concern. But what if I relax and let go and nothing happens? This fear often keeps people stuck in a cycle of forcing and striving. The truth is, something is always happening, even if you can't see it yet. When you relax and let go while maintaining the assumption of your desire fulfilled, you set in motion forces beyond your conscious awareness. Think of planting a seed. Once you plant it and water it, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust in the natural process of growth. You know that beneath the surface, unseen to your eyes, the seed is germinating and roots are forming. This is how manifestation works. When you plant the seed of your desire in your subconscious mind through the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and then relax and let go, you are given the truth to germinate. You allow the unseen forces of the universe to work on your behalf. Your desire is making its way to you through channels you may not be aware of. People are being moved, circumstances are being arranged, opportunities are being created, all to bring your desire to fruition. Your job during this time is to maintain your faith. Keep living from the end, feeling the reality of your desire fulfilled. And most importantly, enjoy the journey. Find joy and gratitude in your present circumstances, knowing that they are transforming to match your new assumption. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of living in the present moment. Many people make the mistake of putting their happiness on hold until their desire manifests. They think, I'll be happy when I get that job, or I feel content when I find my perfect partner. But this is a trap. Remember, your outer world reflects your inner state. If you're constantly projecting your happiness into the future, you're affirming that happiness is not here and now. And so it will always remain in the future, just out of reach. Instead, choose to be happy now. Choose to feel fulfilled now. This doesn't mean denying your desire of growth or change. It means finding the essence of what you're seeking, be it love, security, fulfillment, creativity, in your present circumstances. When you do this, you align yourself with the frequency of your desire. You become the person who already has what you want. And from this place of present fulfillment, you allow your external reality to shift and change. This is the true meaning of it's already yours. It's not just a future possibility. It's a future you can just step into now through the power of your assumption. Let's delve deeper into the art of letting go. For many, this is the most challenging aspect of manifestation. We're so accustomed to trying to control outcomes, to make things happen through sheer force of will. But true power lies in surrender. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on your desire. It means releasing your attachment to how and when it will manifest. It means trusting in the perfect unfolding of your good. Think of it like this. When you order something online, you don't spend every moment worrying about how it will get to you. You trust that it's on its way. You go about your life, knowing that at the right time your package will arrive. This is how you want to approach your desires. Once you've placed your order with the universe by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, let it go. Trust that it's on its way to you. Go about your life, enjoying each moment, knowing that at the perfect time, your desire will manifest. Letting go also means releasing any need to control other people or manipulate circumstances. Remember, the entire universe is within you. The people and circumstances in your life are reflections of your consciousness. As you change your consciousness, they will naturally change to match it. This is incredibly liberating. It means you don't have to try to change anyone else. You don't have to struggle against circumstances. Your only task is to change your own consciousness to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and then relax and allow the outer world to conform to your new assumption. Now, I want to address a common pitfall that many fall into on this journey, the temptation to constantly check for results. This is like digging up a seed every day to see if it's growing. It stems from doubt and impatience, and it can actually hinder the manifestation of your desire. Instead of looking for proof in the external world, turn your attention inward. How do you feel? Are you maintaining the feeling of the wishful again? Are you again? This is where your power lies. If you find yourself slipping into old patterns of thought or feeling, don't judge yourself. Simply redirect your attention back to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is a practice, like any practice, it becomes easier and more natural over time. Remember, my friends, you are not bound by your past or by your current circumstances. In any moment, you have the power to choose a new state of consciousness. And as you do, you literally step into a new reality. This is the miracle of your imagination. It is the portal through which you can access any reality you choose. When you imagine and feel yourself into a new state, you are actually experiencing that reality now. And as you persist in that new state, it must externalize in your world. Let me share with you another principle that can be immensely helpful on this journey, the law of reversibility. This law states that just as physical events can cause you to experience certain feelings, those feelings, when generated without the physical event, can cause the physical event to occur. For instance, if you received a large sum of money, you would likely feel a sense of financial security and abundance. But the law of reversibility says that if you generate and maintain those feelings of financial security and abundance without the physical event, you will draw that physical event into you. This is why it's so crucial to focus on the feeling of your wish fulfilled, rather than the specific circumstances you think will bring that feeling. The feeling is the secret. The feeling is what attracts the reality. So I invite you to become aware of the feelings you're cultivating throughout your day. Are they aligned with your desires, or are they reflecting lack and limitation? Remember, you have the power to choose your feelings in any moment. This brings us to another important point, the role of gratitude in manifestation. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations you can embody. When you're grateful, you're affirming that you already have what you desire. You're living from the end. Make it a practice to find things to be grateful for each day, especially things that align with your desires. If you desire financial abundance, be grateful for every penny you have. If you desire a loving relationship, be grateful for the love you already have in your life, in whatever form it takes. As you cultivate gratitude, you align yourself with the frequency of abundance. You open yourself to receive more of what you're grateful for. This is the power of appreciation. Now let's address another aspect of relaxing and letting go, the release of limiting beliefs. Often what stands between us and our desires are the beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world. These beliefs might sound like I'm not good enough, money is hard to come by, love always ends in heartbreak, or success requires struggle. These beliefs create tension and resistance, blocking the free flow of our good. The key to releasing these beliefs is not to fight them or try to force them out of your mind. Remember, what you resist persists. Instead, simply choose a new assumption. Every time you catch yourself thinking a limiting thought, gently redirect your attention to its opposite. If you find yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, redirect to, I am more than enough. If you catch the thought, money is hard to come by, shift to, abundance flows to me easily and effortlessly. Don't try to believe the new thought. Simply choose and feel the relief and expansion that comes with it. Over time, as you persist in this practice, the new assumption will become your dominant belief. This is the essence of mental diet. Consciously choosing the thoughts and assumptions you will entertain. Just as you're careful about what you put into your physical body, be mindful of what you feed your mind. Remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts as true whatever you impress upon it with feeling. So feed it the thoughts and feelings that align with your desires. As you do this, you may find that your desires themselves begin to shift and evolve. This is natural and beautiful. As you raise your consciousness, as you release limiting beliefs that align with higher truth, your desires naturally refine themselves. You may find that what you once desperately wanted no longer holds the same appeal. You may discover new desires arising that are more aligned with your true self. Welcome these shifts. They are signs of your growth and evolution. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of self-love in this process. Many people approach manifestation from a place of lack, believing that once they have what they want, then they'll be worthy of love and acceptance. But this gets it backwards. Self-love is not the result of manifesting your desires. It's the foundation upon which all successful manifestation is built. When you truly love and accept yourself as you are, you open yourself to receive all the good that life has to offer. So make self-love a priority. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Celebrate your strengths. Accept your perceived flaws as unique aspects of your beautiful self. As you do this, you raise your vibration and become magnetic to your desires. Remember, you are not separate from your desire. You are one with it. In fact, the sign for something is life calling you to express more of who you truly trust. Honor that call. Step into the version of yourself that already has what you desire. Now, to near the end of our time together, I want to remind you of a fundamental truth. You are the operant power in your life. Not your circumstances, not other people, not some external force. You are the author of your story. With every thought, every feeling, every assumption, you are writing the script of your life. And at any moment, you have the power to write a new chapter. So I invite you to step fully into this power. Claim it, own it. Use it consciously and deliberately to create the life you just desire. Remember, relaxing and letting go is not about passivity or resignation. It's about aligning yourself with the creative forces of the universe. It's about allowing your good flow to you without resistance. Don't force it. Don't struggle. Don't try to make it happen. Instead, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Alive from that state. And then relax, let go of the universe to bring it to pass in ways that will delight and amaze you. My dear friends, as we conclude this talk, I want you to know that everything you desire is already yours. It exists now in the realm of infinite possibility. Your task is simply to tune your consciousness to its frequency, to step into the version of reality where it's already a fact. Relax into the knowing that it is done. Let go of doubt, anxiety, and anxiety control. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your good. Live each day from the assumption that you are who you want to be, that you have what you desire. As you do this, you will find your world transforming before your very eyes. People, circumstances, events will rearrange themselves to match your new assumption. This is the law, and it never fails. So go with confidence, with faith, with the knowing that the entire universe is conspiring in your favor. Relax, let go, and allow the miracles to unfold in your life. Remember, it's already yours. Now step into that reality and claim it. Thank you, and may your lives be filled with the joy of your desires fulfilled.